No, I was just going to talk about some of the reception history,
Yes, please.
if that's okay.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
So this verse gets interpreted as being about Gehenna.
Okay.
So Gehenna is the Greek word for it actually literally translates the Hebrew Gehinnom, which is the Valley of Hinnom. And so people have thought that this verse, even though it doesn't reference the Valley of Hinnom, is
Right.
referencing the Valley of Hinnom.
Okay.
And so therefore is a reference to Gehenna.
Gehenna, right?
Gehenna is the Greek word that Jesus uses when Jesus talks about hell, or some version of hell, that people will spend time in, unbelievers will burn in Gehenna. Right. So Jesus does talk about Gehenna. From that, though, it's very interesting to trace the history of reception on the way that Gehenna and the Valley of Hinnom are interpreted. First, they're interpreted as places where idolatry happened, where the god Moloch was worshipped and children were passed through the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what that means in Hebrew, the passing through the fire, is unclear, and there's been all kinds of interpretations about that. Yeah. But over time, even Jewish interpreters argued that children were burned there.
Okay.
Of course, that feeds into a Christian anti-Semitic idea of,
absolutely,
baby
you
killing.
Used to do this. Yeah.
Right. So this is like, this is already a problematic kind of framework set of interpretations, right? That the way that Christians received that when they were interpreting hell through Gehenna. Mm-hmm. Then in the 12th century, a rabbi named Kimchi said, well, actually people used to throw their garbage into this valley and burn it there. And so then people were like, okay, so there's garbage burning there, and then some dead bodies. And then eventually over time, and by the time we get to the 17th, 18th, and 19th century, those tend to be, those are called malefactors, and then criminals. So over time, you get this idea that criminals were burned in the Valley of Hinnom.
Wow.
And this traces back to Isaiah 66:24. Wow. And so you have this whole progression of increasingly carceral language, thinking about criminals as being burnt. And so what that does is kind of say, well, criminals deserve to be burned, right? So it erases kind of ideas of compassion, or of seeing people as people. So that's just one example that I've kind of been working on. Yeah. And so to think about how that all comes together.